Hello, I'm Dale Ander, and I'm a member of the Control Center Development and Support teams. Welcome to a series of videos covering the key capabilities of IBM Sterling Control Center. If you don't know, Control Center is a tool that can be used to manage and track key actions and activities that are occurring across your B2B and file transfer infrastructure. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a Control Center Director feature. Remember, Control Center is made up of two products. Director, which allows full lifecycle management of your ConnectDirect servers, and Monitor, which allows you to see and do things when actions and activities occur, not only on those ConnectDirect servers, but on B2BI, SSP, Connect Express, the Connect Enterprise, the list goes on. There's quite a few. But as I said, in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a Control Center Director feature called Configuration Management, which you can use to perform centralized management of all your ConnectDirect servers. So let's get started. As you know, all your ConnectDirect servers have various configuration settings that control how they work, including init parms, netmap nodes, and on Windows servers, compass and modes, your user definitions, also known as user functional authorities, user proxies, only on ConnectDirect Unix and Windows servers, and finally, Secure Plus parameters, including the nodes, the key entrusted certificates, and the cipher suites. And all of these configuration settings, or objects if you will, can be managed from a centralized location if you're using Control Center Director. That means if you have Director, you don't have to log in to each individual ConnectDirect server anymore to make changes, whether it's to init parms, add to netmap nodes, change Secure Plus settings, etc. It's very straightforward feature to use. This is what the GUI looks like. Basically, once you're in Director, you'll click on Configuration in the toolbar, and then you'll be presented with a navigation pane that has the kinds of settings that you can change. This list will vary based on the server you select, and this server it's a pull-down list of all your managed and monitored ConnectDirect servers. There's also in here the something called configuration jobs. So there's a job viewer. I'll show you more on that in a moment. There's something called templates, and there's a search tool. You'll also be able to do comparisons. For you folks that are still allowing customers to manipulate your ConnectDirect settings locally, Control Center can still see what's going on because you can configure it via the system settings to go out once a day to go see what's going on. Basically, you'll go to System Settings, Services, and over here you can say check for configuration changes on ConnectDirect servers, and you can program it to pick the time of day you want, and Control Center will go out, check all the servers, get all the settings, and watch for deltas. Another capability of configuration management is called templates. It's a powerful feature. You can create multiple templates. You can create templates for each configuration setting type. You can have an init parm template for ZOS. You can have an init parm template for Windows. You can have a init parm template for CD Unix. These templates that you create can then be used as a starting point anytime you have to create a new configuration object on one of your managed servers. You can also use these templates to compare against existing settings and watch for deviations in your standards. So how does it do all this? Director uses a concept of a job. Jobs are used to create and modify settings on your Connect Direct servers. Like other things in Control Center, these configuration jobs can have a name and description. They are optional, but I still recommend you use them. The configuration jobs can be applied to just a single server or multiple servers. So if you have to add a new netmap entry to 5,000 servers, then you could just create a single job and do it. Know that these configuration jobs can be scheduled. They can run either now or at a time of your choosing in the future. And these configuration jobs can be held. Say you're creating a job to put a new Secure Plus node or a NitParm update, and you don't remember quite all the settings. Well, rather than canceling out in the middle or towards the end, you can just go all the way to the end, and instead of running it, just hold it, and then you can go back and update that held job. You can also cancel held jobs or running jobs. And through the configuration job viewer, you can see, cancel, and change jobs yet to run. You can see the status and view the step-by-step details of completed jobs. Let's see. And you can rerun successful and failed jobs. So you can see in my completed jobs that I did not give any names or descriptions, but I'm thinking that these were all refreshes run automatically by the system. You can also click over here to get to the queued jobs, and for each row in the job viewer, you can view the details of that job, maybe see what it did successfully or unsuccessfully. You can view the steps within the job, and you can do start and stop and see the properties. So Control Center keeps versions of all these Connect Direct configuration settings that it sees, and these versions are stored in a Control Center database table. By default, at least 3 versions of each Connect Direct configuration type is saved, and that setting works in conjunction with one other where you tell it the minimum number of days of configuration settings to retain. So no matter how many changes you make, you can say retain them all for a minimum of n number of days, and that's done in the services part of system settings, where you set the minimum number of configuration versions to retain, as well as the minimum number of days of configuration settings to change. Also, there's a comparison tool. As you're looking at a version, you can compare that version against previous or newer versions on the same server, or against versions on a different server. And you can even do the comparisons on templates, as I had mentioned earlier, to look for deviations between your standards and reality. And another thing you can do with versions is you can revert a setting on a Connect Direct server to an earlier version. So if somebody made some change locally that was ill-advised, you can just undo it with just a few clicks. Searching. You can search through all these configuration settings that Control Center is retaining for you. The searches can be limited to just one of the setting types, but you can include all your setting types if you want in the search, and searches can be restricted to the current version of those settings or all. So no limit on the versions. All of them can be searched. And likewise, data in templates can also be searched for.